All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Friday night, we got a great slate on tap tonight here. 9 games for the main slate on FanDuel and DraftKings. Happy Friday to everyone out there. TGIF, I'll bring my guy in. Hamwich, bookend squad here. Hamwich, happy Friday, man. How's your week been? How's everything going, brother?
Yeah, going good. Looking forward. It's Friday. Brad's home game, game 6 here in Nashville. Got Morgan Wallen in town. You missed it by a weekend, Nades. We're rocking and rolling here in Nashville. We got your equipment manager up there in Milwaukee. He's been busy all day, picking up those uniforms, making sure they're clean, making sure Patrick Beverly's not throwing balls at anybody, Shaqtin' a fool in there. But, hey, I can't rag you anymore on those Bucks because the season's over. I know Newlands is in here. Where's my guy, Gator Nation, Michael? They're all going to give me hell here in a minute. But, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to chopping it up with you again, my man.
Yeah, looking forward to chopping it up. Hey, we got a title and then 2 first-round exits and a second-round exit. What are you going to do? Don't know what's going on. Doesn't help when Giannis has been injured, right? I don't want to blame injuries. I don't know what's going on in Milwaukee. But, hey, nonetheless, that's all right. My Brewers are looking decent so far to start the year. Hey, you move on to the next game. And more importantly to me, I just care about making money. And we got a nice slate to make money here on tap. If you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button in the chat. And if you haven't heard yet, don't know where you've been, maybe you've been under a rock, but Shiptimizer. We have launched our own optimizer over here at SHIPIT Nation. The optimizer designed to help you ship. Use that promo code MILLY15. Get you 15% off any package you do choose on the site. Get you a nice free optimizer for the time being to try it out. We want feedback from y'all to keep tweaking this, but couldn't be more excited to use this. I dove in, played around with it, messed around with it a little bit. The nice thing when you have an optimizer in-house, you can make the tweaks and changes necessary based on your clientele. That's what we're doing. Promo code MILLY15 gets you 15% off any package to the website, monthly, 6-month, annual, that will get you access to this to try it out. Get in there, play around with it. Our projections and ownership are loaded in there for you. You see it right there on the screen. No better time to join than now. Promo code MILLY15. Get in there, play around with that Shiptimizer, and hopefully ship some of these slates here on tap like we've been crushing over here at SHIPIT Nation. But how much, man? We're going to talk pitching like we always do. We're going to go 8K and above on DraftKings in terms of pricing over here. Tanner Houck, Ronel Blanc, Beebe, Stroman, Singer, Cease, and Sonny Gray is the options. Going to throw out a couple names for you. Number 1, Tanner Houck. Number 2, Tanner Beebe, and then number 3, Sonny Gray. Those 3 are picking up the most ownership. Hard to argue with Sonny Gray here at home, pitching against this woeful Chicago White Sox team. But as of late, a little recency bias, right? This White Sox team has been beating up some chalk pitchers. Sonny Gray looks pretty much untouchable as of late. Talk to me. What are you doing with those 3? What are you doing with the other pivots in this range, like a Ronel Blanco, like a George Kirby? Talk to me.
Yeah, man, this is a good pitching slate. I'm excited, and let's just start at the top of the list and the guys I have interest in, and then we'll go from there. But Sonny Gray, 10-1 on DK. Yeah, it's tough to poke holes in him. He's been absolutely dynamite all season long. Takes on this feeble Chicago White Sox team, and Sonny Gray. He's missing a lot of bats from both sides of the plate. But hey, you said it. This White Sox team, their bats have been better. I'm going to be lower than the field, I think, on Sonny Gray. Certainly don't mind the price on Sonny Gray, but for me personally, there's just some guys that I like better in this range. The guy that I want to touch on, Tanner Bibby, dominated the Braves last time out. I think 8 or 9 strikeouts. Gets to take on the Troutless Angels today. Hey, he's going to be super popular. $8,500 at home. I think there's some weather in that game, Nate. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the only game that I think there's some weather. But you or the chat can correct me on that. Yeah, so don't mind Bibby. And then Ronel Blanco, goodness gracious alive. I was looking at him today, looking at the pitches he throws, looking at, how he does against right-handed batters, left-handed batters. what these batters for the Mariners do. Man, Ronel Blanco, he's my favorite pitcher in this range, in this Bibby Blanco Hawk range. I really like Ronel Blanco. He would be my SP1 on this slate. I think he's got tremendous upside. Threw 100 pitches his last time out in Mexico City against that Rockies team and dominated them. He's dominated home all season long. Man, really love Ronel Blanco tonight. And then Tanner Houck would be my last one. I was looking, the Twins, they kind of threw me a curveball. They only stuck 3 right-handed hitters in that lineup because they know that Houck is much more dangerous versus right-handed hitters than left-handed hitters. But hey, I was doing my homework. I was looking at Houck, looking at the pitches he throws. That Twins lineup, man, up and down the lineup against the pitches that Houck throws. He's going to be K-ing them all night long, similar to Blanco. I got Blanco and Houck about 1A, 1B tonight for me, and that's it in that range for me tonight. Not going with Cease. He's going to get some ownership. No interest in Cease for me. No interest in George Kirby. Well, he's below there anyway. So, yeah, Cease, Singer, and Stroman, no thank you. Not enough upside in Singer and Stroman with the strikeouts.
Yeah, no, we're pretty aligned here tonight, which typically doesn't happen. We'll see how it goes the rest of the show. Obviously, it's a little friendly banter back and forth, and we've been crushing it over here. I've been having a pretty good season so far to MLB. Been keeping it rolling. Really been diving into the metrics and spending a lot of time over here diving in. I love baseball. I've played baseball my whole life. But for me, Sonny Gray's SP1 on the slate. I get the ownership. I get the reasoning. But at 10-1, I mean, there's a lot of bats that you can fit in. I like some cheap SP2s on the slate that we're going to talk about. It's easy to fit Sonny Gray. So for me, in my main team, I'm rolling Sonny Gray. I just don't care. I'm going to eat that chalk. I'm not worried about this White Sox team. It is a pitcher's ballpark there in St. Louis as well. Give me all the Sonny Gray here. Like I said, last year we saw pitchers like this in a spot like this be 11-5, 12K. Sonny Gray's at 10-1. It's just too cheap for me, for him. Really like him. Ronel Blanco is my second favorite pitcher. Absolutely love the matchup against Seattle. Great strikeout upside here. Love him. And then my third favorite pitcher up at this range is Tanner Houck. I'll take Ronel Blanco and Tanner Houck over Tanner Beebe here at the discount and ownership. I get it. No Trout in that Angels lineup, but I just like Blanco's matchup a lot more. I like the Boston Red Sox bats a little bit against Chris Paddock there. So I think Tanner Houck is going to have the run support behind him. I love all three of those guys. I'm not going to mess with the Kirby against Houston. I just don't think you need to attack a Houston offense when you got 9 games on the slate with other pitchers in that range that I like. In Tanner better, Blanco better. I'm just out on George Kirby. Charlie Morton's an upside GPP play once we get down a little bit further. But 8K and above, sticking to that. It's Sonny Gray number 1 for me, Blanco 2, and Tanner Houck number 3 for me. Not messing with anyone else. If I did have to pick another guy, it would be Marcus Stroman here at home. Like these Yankees bats a ton against Reese Olson here. Should have some run support behind him. The Yankees been hitting the baseball pretty good. Marcus Stroman's also been decent. Not afraid of this Detroit lineup at all. I get it. It's a decent spot to hit in Yankee Stadium. This Tigers offense strikes out at a 25% clip against right-handed pitching so far on the road this season. So Stroman would be the 4th guy above 8K for me. I do like him as a pivot off of Tanner Beebe, off a pivot of Dylan Cease, right, for a little bit cheaper. And if you can't get all the way up to Sonny Gray, I don't mind like a Stroman, a Blanco pairing, or like a Blanco, Tanner Houck pairing if you can't get all the way up to Sonny Gray. But all 4 of those guys, great pitchers. It is a pretty deep pitcher slate overall. Once we get to bats, we're going to talk about it. Not really a clear-cut chalk stack of the night outside of that late night game that we're going to talk about. So for me, I'm focusing more on pitchers and kind of filling in the bats on where I see fit after that. So I like those 4 a ton at the top end. Let's go 8K and below here. I want to throw out, obviously, George Kirby, throw out him, mentioned him already. But down at the bottom, Chris Paddock, JP Sears, the 2 guys that everyone's going to in terms of savings for the SP2 position. Paddock had 1 good start, 4 terrible starts outside of that. So are you going to Chris Paddock against those Boston Red Sox there? Talk on that. Talk on JP Sears against a very, very woeful Miami offense, especially against left-handed pitching. Sears, a pretty solid real-life pitcher. He's my favorite SP2 on this slate, but touch on any of these guys down in the lower tier here.
Yeah, it looks like we're a little bit different there. But, I mean, honestly, with Houck and Blanco being so cheap, especially on DK, I don't think you need to play down here too much. But the 2 pitchers that I have the most interest in, I actually have a little bit of interest in Reese Olson. He misses a lot of right-handed bats, and the right-handed hitters for the Yankees strike out a bunch. On top of that, he is a ground ball pitcher. I mean, obviously, you see the Yankees, you see some guy named Reese Olson that you never heard of, $7,400. Yeah, I mean, I would rather pay $8,100 for Hog. Don't get me wrong, but if you had to go to Reese Olson, I think he's a great GPP play against this Yankees team. I think he can hold them, to 2-3 runs, strike out 6 or 7, and go 6 innings, and hey, potentially get the W. Stroman's been struggling. Then my other one that I want to talk about, and I'm going to butcher his name, but Slade Caccone against this Padres team. You always talk about it. You click an optimizer, you click optimize. Hey, San Diego Padres are going to pop up. They've been struggling at the dish, and they got struck out 10 times the other night by Nick Lodolo. I'm not saying that Slade is Lodolo, but Slade has 95-mile-per-hour stuff. He's got swing and miss stuff. The Padres been struggling. Give me Slade over Paddock. No Paddock for me. I actually like the Red Sox tonight. I don't think Paddock's any good, and his stats are being padded against games against the Angels, and whoever he struck 10 of them out. Was that the White Sox or somebody? And then no JP Sears for me. I just don't think the upside is there. A great ballpark. Certainly understand it, but yeah, it's Slade. It's Reese for me down in this range, but certainly prefer those guys in the low 8K range above all these guys.
Yeah, I'm out on Olson. I'll give you Olson. I get it, right? He is a ground ball pitcher, but over half that lineup for the Yankees are 25% or higher fly ball rates. I actually wrote that up in the slate plan over here at SHIPIT Nation. Did the slate plan, already was published before the show. I like the Yankees a lot as a stack against Olson, so I'm out on him. If I'm going down here, JP Sears is my favorite SP2. I already mentioned that on the slate. And then my second favorite is going to be Slade Caccone here with you there as well. Those are the only 2 guys I'm considering below 8K. I think you can get away with, like I said, a Hawk, a Blanco, Stroman, a Sonny Gray, or even a Tanner Beebe there against those Angels. So I don't think you really need to come down here. If you do come down here, you get a lot more spend-up bats. I like Sears, like I said, and then Caccone would be my second guy. I'm out on Chris Paddock. I'm stacking against Paddock here tonight. So no for me. Not going to mess with Gavin Stone and his limited pitch count there against the Braves. So for me, it's a spend-up spot for me outside of JP Sears. Go ahead and rank your top 5 before we jump into the hitters here.
All right, we got to have a wager. Wouldn't be a Friday night show without a wager. I'll take Reese Olson. I'll give you JP Sears. Straight up DraftKings points. I'm taking Olson. You in?
So you're going to take a $1,300 pitcher straight up over JP Sears with no additional bets. Okay.
They're projected for 1 point apart from each other. I'm taking the lower guy.
Yeah, give me Sears over Olson. I don't care. I mean, you've lost about 4 bets in a row to me, so you got some money to make up here. You got some payments to pay. So hey, maybe we'll do like a quintuple or nothing here, right? To make up on your deficits there. I know inflation's huge. I know Nashville prices are not cheap. I mean, you walk in a bar, you buy a round, it's $100 bill, $10 a drink down there goes pretty quickly. So I get it. Little Nashville boy, little Nashville narrative. I know times are tough over there in the Hamwich household. So hey, maybe you can win this bet and wash it and clean the slate out here. But yeah, give me Sears over Olson. My top pitchers here: Sonny Gray number 1 for me, Tanner Houck number 2, Blanco number 3. I'm gonna go JP Sears 4, and then I'll go Marcus Stroman as number 5 over Beebe. I just think Beebe's ownership is gonna come in as probably potentially the highest owned pitcher on the entire slate, especially without Trout. Now with that Trout news, no Trout in that lineup. So that's my top pitchers there. Did want to hit on this talk. Danny in the chat says, all right, how much is the Shiptimizer going to be after the free trial? There is no free trial for the Shiptimizer. My guy Newens cleared it up in the chat. The Shiptimizer technically is free, quote unquote free right now for members on the website. Again, we're doing this as kind of a beta, if you will, for our current member base to test it out, use it, give us their feedback, give us their tweaks, what they want to see differently, make sure everything is fully functionality to the way we all want it over here at the Nation before we do put a price tag to it. But I will tell you, our goal for everything, including the membership to the site and the optimizer, our goal is to be under $100 a month for everything, all-encompassing product to have your content, your projections in an optimizer, everything you need to be roughly right around that $100 or under mark per month. So I will give you a little feedback to that. Obviously, we're still working through that, but count on being hopefully right around 100 or less for everything all encompassing. Did want to hit on that real quick. But how much? Let's talk about Detroit and the Yankees. First game on the slate here. I like this game. I think we're going to differ a little bit here. I like this Yankees offense quite a bit against Reese Olson, and his 21% strikeout rate gets barreled a little bit. He is a ground ball pitcher, but the Yankees have a lot of fly balls. I don't think Juan Soto, I don't think Aaron Judge care about any ground ball pitcher on the other side of the hill from them. Talk about this one. Talk about Detroit and the Yankees. Yankees implied to score right around 4.5 runs here. Tigers implied to score under 3.5. Stroman on the mound, Reese Olson on the mound. Where are you going here for bats?
Yeah, this game, I'm not going to be going anywhere on this one, Nate. This one's a cross-off for me, and definitely no Tigers. I mean, Stroman, like I said, I think he struggled a little bit last couple games. And, not picking on Reese Olson. Got a little bit of respect for him. There's offenses that I like better than him. I mean, anybody be Riley Green. I think he's leading off. I just saw, Riley Green would be leading off. He'd be a one-off. Then, obviously, you can always play Judge. But I'm going to be full fade in these Yankees tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think the ownership's going to go there. So I'm happy to stack up a team that's been hot at the plate. Like I said, Aaron Judge, fly ball rate right around 40%. Austin Wells, 35%. Rizzo, over 33%. Torres, Volpe, Soto. I mean, so you're talking 6 of the 9 hitters all over 25% or higher in terms of fly ball rates. That counteracts the ground ball pitcher. I typically don't like stacking, but just don't think the ownership's going to be there. You got cheap guys in the back half. Rizzo's been good. Aaron Judge, you can play him any slate. Juan Soto, obviously. So I do like these Yankees in terms of a stack. They are one of my favorite stacks on the slate. Just don't think ownership's going to go there. So give me some Yankees here. No Detroit bats for me against Stroman. Just like other spots, better. Let's jump into the next game here. The Cleveland Guardians and the Angels. LA coming to town to face Cleveland here. BB on the mound. We both love him quite a bit, as does the rest of the industry. Any Angels for you? Probably not getting there myself for me, even against the chalk. I just don't think you need to. And then any Guardians for you? I do have quite a bit of interest actually in this Cleveland offense. They're not a flashy offense, but the Angels' pen is terrible, and Soriano has not been very good at all. So give me some of these Guardians here tonight, which typically I don't say too much. Where are you going, man?
Yeah, agree with you 100% on that. No Angels for me. Bibby is one of my top 3 pitchers on the slate. Really like them. And then, Guardians, generally speaking, they don't play long ball too much, but man, it's impossible to strike out my boy Steven Kwan, Jimenez at the top of the lineup as well, Ramirez, Naylor. That would kind of be the extent of it. Man, it's tough to click on Will Brennan, Tyler Freeman, Bo Naylor, any of those names. But yeah, absolutely. Give me that top 4, maybe even throw in Will Brennan if you are on DK. I'm with you. Really pesky lineup that they got there. And, love the Guardians tonight as well. One of my top 5 favorite stacks.
Yeah, I just like the Guardians. The reason I like the Guardians, if you look at the numbers for Soriano, number 1, I mean, behind him, the Angels bullpen is trash. Number 2, this guy walks a ton of hitters. And the Cleveland offense has hitters that are patient at the plate, right? You got 4 hitters that are right around a 10% or higher walk rate over the current season, right, against right-handed pitching. So I like him. Soriano's walking right around 14% of hitters from both sides of the plate. He does struggle with some power as well. So I really like Josh Naylor here. Really like Jose Ramirez. Steven Kwan, obviously a contact guy. Jimenez, right? You can include him in stacks. Always fills a nice second base position. That's typically a pretty weak position. You got Bo Naylor down there at the back half. You got Rochio at the shortstop position at 2,700. Solid value play there. He's going to put the bat on the ball, get you in play. They'll have some guys that'll steal bases here against the walks, right? So I think the Guardians can play old school baseball here, little T-ball style, manufacture runs, and stolen base, a walk, 2 stolen bases, pretty close to hitting a home run anyway. So you don't always need to get there with the home run power. I'll stack against a pitcher that struggles with control any day of the week, especially with a bad bullpen behind him. So I really like these Guardians quite a bit here tonight as well. Let's head into my favorite stack of the night. I don't know what it is, man, these Kansas City Royals, but they face Lorenzen here, who strikes out right around 20% of hitters. The Royals at home here, Kauffman Stadium. I love me some Kansas City Royals. And then on the other side, I don't think Texas is the craziest crazy stack, right? Guaranteed ninth inning at bats in a good hitter's park here against Brady Singer, who does get barreled decent. Talk about this one. I do think this is my most intriguing game on the entire slate here tonight from a bats perspective.
Yeah, I took a peek at your slate plan or your core, and yeah, saw a lot of Royals in there. Hey, I'm with you tonight, Nades. We're going Coors Field 2.0. Give me all these righties. I want to load up on these righties. I was sad to see that Nelson Velasquez was not in the confirmed lineup, but Bobby Witt, Michael Garcia, Salvador Perez, Hunter Renfroe down in the 8-hole. Don't mind him at all, but I'm going to load up on these right-handed bats, then obviously sprinkle in a couple lefties for when those relievers come in. Then I'm with you. I think this Rangers team is a little bit sneaky. Be Brady Singer doesn't strike a whole lot of people out. We know there's tons of power in this Rangers lineup. Adolis Garcia, double dong capability every single night. So, yeah, give me that Rangers power, and then give me the righties on the Royals. Really load up on them tonight as well.
Yeah, I love Salvador Perez. I love Bobby Witt. And Hunter Renfroe at 2,800 is a great value, a nice righty there. The thing, and I don't sleep on Melendez, right? Lorenzen over the last 30 days has struggled against with walks, 21% walk rate to lefties over the 28 plate appearances he has. And looking at Melendez, he's very patient at the plate, has 11% walk rate on the season so far. Vinny P, right? Italian nightmare there as well, over 10% walk rate as well. So I think Lorenzen's going to struggle here. Michael Garcia, really love him. Bobby Witt, Perez, obviously all the righties. You got a cheap Freddie Furman there. You can play him with Salvador Perez, get rid of Vinny P, throw Perez at first base, throw Furman at the catcher position. Nice, save some money there. Melendez is going to be super low owned at 4K, lefty down in that 7 spot. Love these Royals here tonight. 1 through 9 firmly in play. Michael Massey tonight hitting 5th behind Salvador Perez at 2,800. I mean, this guy's been on an absolute tear. He'll steal bases. I mean, he's just way too cheap. Fills a bad position as well. So love these Royals for me. And then Texas, I don't think Texas is the craziest play either. All right. Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia has been on fire. He's 5,500. Nice price point. He's an elite one-off on the slate. So I like the Rangers and the Royals here. Royals, probably my favorite stack, all things considered. Matchup, salary, everything on the slate here tonight, which probably says, Nades, you play the Royals every night. And I'll continue playing the Royals when they continue to make me money. They got power and speed throughout the lineup. Bobby Witt's a freaking DFS cheat code. So I'll go to these Royals when they're not the chalk offense on any slate here, especially at home. Let's jump to the next game here. And this is an interesting game because you got the Astros, a pretty good offense, facing a pretty solid pitcher here in George Kirby at home. No Mariners interest for me against Blanco. We both like Blanco quite a bit. But I'm personally not getting to the Astros, but you still do have Jordan and Kyle Tucker against the righty. Talk on the Astros, talk on the Mariners. For me, I think this is a game where it's a cross-off spot outside of maybe a Tucker or a Jordan. But do you have any interest in these Houston bats?
Yeah, let's talk on the Mariners. I mean, Ronel Blanco, I think he carves up this team. For the non-Blanco teams, I will be throwing Josh Rojas into the mix, assuming he's leading off. Really like what he does against Ronel's pitch mix. So, yeah, give me Josh Rojas as a one-off only on non-Blanco teams. I really like him tonight. Only if he's batting leadoff. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't want to pick on Kirby, but if you wanted to pick off a, Jordan or Kyle Tucker, can never go wrong with them. But I won't be full stacking this Astros team. They're obviously struggling this season. They got right in Mexico City and came home and didn't really beat up. Who were they playing? Like the Nats, or that might have been the Rangers. Whoever they were playing, they didn't really beat them up this past week. But it's Jordan or Kyle Tucker for me. Won't be full stacking those Astros.
All right. No Astros for you. I agree. I do want to say Julio Rodriguez in non-Blanco teams, I think, is one of the best hitters on the slate. He's too cheap, right? He'll steal bases. He's got a ton of power. Ronel Blanco is a fly ball guy as well. Julio Rodriguez, right? Ton of fly balls there. So I don't think he's the craziest one-off. Should be hitting second or third here tonight at 5,100, guaranteed 19 at bats. Hits right-handed pitching very well. And if he steals a couple of bases, that's always nice too. He's been known to swipe some bags out there. So I don't hate him. And then on the Astros, you can play Kyle Tucker, Jordan, any slate, Altuve. But I just like other offenses. If I'm spending up, I'm likely going to Atlanta offense over the Astros. So no Astros really for me. Julio Rodriguez in non-Blanco teams, I think is a solid play. Cal Raleigh, I don't think is a crazy catcher play at 3,900 there. Ton of power and a fair price point as well. But outside of that, really no interest in bats. Let's jump to the next game here. And I know seems like you're going to be aligned with me a little bit here on the Red Sox side. I like me some Red Sox because I do think if people don't go to Sears, they're going to Paddock as a cheap SP2 because this Red Sox team has been pretty underwhelming to start the season. Lefties here, Jarren Duran, Rafael Devers, you got Weiler Abreu, Dominic Smith, if he's in that lineup. I like the lefties a ton and then stack around them. I think these Red Sox get to Paddock here in a big way, guaranteed nothing at bats. I don't think a lot of ownership goes to them at all. So give me some Red Sox, but where are you going here in Minnesota? Red Sox and the Twins.
Yeah, on the same page here. No, definitely no Twins for me. Not even a one-off, but yeah, let's focus on the lefty power for Boston. I haven't seen the lineup, but Devers obviously has a ton of power from the left-handed side of the plate. Slower start to the season. Duran, you said it as well. Abreu, if he's in there. Yeah, give me these lefties up and down the lineup to beat up on Chris Paddock. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I mean, Paddock has just been absolutely atrocious against lefties. I mean, 11% strikeout rate over the last 30 days with a fly ball rate approaching 30%. So, yeah, start with the lefties, Rafael Devers, Jarren Duran, Weiler Abreu, I really like a ton. So I like those three a ton. You should have some cheaper guys. David Hamilton might crack the lineup at a shortstop position for a cheap price. And then Dominic Smith, another value guy that does have some power, had some power in the past. Played him a lot when he was with the Mets there. So like these Red Sox quite a bit as a stack. It's always nice to have guaranteed nothing at bats as well. And really no Twins interest for me. I do like Tanner Houck a ton. Trevor Larnach, I think, would be solid, right? Power hitter, low strikeouts. He smashed right-handed pitching at home this season. So don't hate him as a one-off, but not going to go to this Twins offense here despite how they've been hitting as of late. So no interest there for me. Let's jump to the next game here. You got the White Sox heading into St. Louis to face the Cardinals here. Brad Keller going to make his start. It's going to be basically pretty much a combination of Brad Keller. Don't know how many pitches he's going to throw. I don't expect him to go very long. And then you got the bullpen behind him. Typically don't like stacking against bullpen games too much here, but Brad Keller could make his start here and just be terrible. Cardinals do have the highest implied run total on the slate from what I'm seeing here, but this offense has just been pretty brutal to start the season. I'm a little bit under on these Cardinals. I don't think they're crazy as terms of a mini stack, but I just like going elsewhere despite their high total. Do you see something I'm missing here with St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis is going to be the highest owned stack tonight, in my opinion, from what I'm looking at. And yeah, I mean, Brad Keller, awful pitcher, cast off of the Royals. Now he makes his starting debut for the White Sox. He came in relief last game and I think gave up like 2 or 3 walks immediately. He just hasn't been good, and that's why he's on the White Sox now. I don't think it's the craziest thing to stack up the Cardinals, but with how bad the Cardinals have been, anytime they're chalk, I'm going to fade them, especially in GPP. So, yeah, no interest for me. But if you wanted to go there, certainly don't think it's the worst play, but I will be underweight on the Cardinals today.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't mind Nolan Gorman at 3,900. He's got a nice price. Again, second base is typically a pretty trash position. I do like the Royals, so I'm naturally going to like Michael Massey. He's been good as well. His price is too cheap, but Nolan Gorman, ton of power, especially against right-handed pitching there. Don't think he's the craziest play at 3,900. Outside of that, I'm not going to stack up the Cardinals. I wouldn't fault you for stacking up the Cardinals. I just think they draw more ownership, especially at the price points. They got a lot of cheap bats in there. Mason Wynn, Gorman, Ciani, Burleson, all very affordable guys, even Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan. So I do think optimizers push them. Obviously, we talked a lot about spend up pitchers. You coordinate that with a very stackable, affordable offense that has a high implied run total. Do think the Cardinals draw quite a bit of ownership here, and it's just overall not an offense that I'm enthused to play here, even against Brad Keller making his first start of the season and a bullpen behind him. So get the reasoning. I'm going to be underweight on it and just go elsewhere, but wouldn't fault you for stacking up some Cardinals here tonight. No White Sox for me against Sonny Gray. Just don't see the need to pick on the best pitcher, in my opinion, on the slate. Let's jump into the next game here. And, man, it's just another day ending in Y for these Padres. High implied run total, but overall it's been a pretty underwhelming offense to start the season. Now they head into Arizona here to face Slade, Sassoni here. Probably butchered that last name, but that's all right. Not an English teacher here, not a pronunciation class. Trying to give you the winners. Talk about the Padres. Talk about the D-backs here tonight for you, Hamwich, Cease, and Sassoni on the mound.
Yeah, cross-off game for me. I have interest in Sassoni. And I don't think Cease is the worst. I mean, I think Sean put in the chat that Arizona is very bad against right-handed hitters. I'm going to look into more of them after the show. But, yeah, I like both of these. Or I like Sassoni for sure, and then have some interest, a little bit of interest in Cease. I mean, he's high-priced and should be a pitcher's duel in my opinion. But, yeah, no interest in the bats here.
Yeah, I don't love this game for bats. I mean, I think you could play the Padres in this spot. I think you can put Arizona in the stack in the conversation of being able to stack them anytime they're on it, right? Power and speed throughout the lineup. But I just like other games more, despite the high total in this one. I'm just going to be off this game in general. I don't typically like playing too many bats in Arizona either as well. So for me, not a lot of interest in that one, but I actually do have a decent amount of interest in one side of this game. It's definitely not on the Marlins side against JP Sears. I like JP Sears quite a bit, but talk about this one, Athletics and Marlins here. I don't mind some Athletics as fillers and mini stacks at their salaries. They got some decent hitters that are playing good baseball right now, especially my guy Tyler Nevin at 2,600, third base outfield eligible. Likely to hit second here tonight. This guy's been on an absolute heater. Like me some Tyler Nevin here tonight. Esteury Ruiz, Brent Rooker. Got some cheap guys here. Talk to me.
Yeah, no bats here for me, man. Just these offenses are just so putrid. Two mediocre pitchers. I mean, Ryan Weathers had a 7-0 lead last Sunday, then blew it. I mean, I liked Weathers last Sunday against the Nats, and yeah, no thank you here. Neither offense is going to be on the winner tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Nevin, too cheap. I mean, he's got a 428 expected ISO against left-handed pitching so far this year at home. I know it's not the greatest park. Esteury Ruiz was an absolute electric hitter, especially against lefties last season. He's shown that again this year in his 11 plate appearances, 622 ISO, low strikeout rate. I like the guys at the top of this lineup quite a bit, the Langeliers, the Rookers, the Nevins, the Esteury Ruizes, quite a bit as cheap fillers. JJ Bleday's not a terrible guy down there. So for me, Nevin, Rooker, Esteury Ruiz, the top three as cheap fillers, especially Tyler Nevin is kind of where I'm looking. I don't mind the Athletics here against Ryan Weathers, and his sub 20% strikeout rate gets hit pretty hard overall. So I do like some Athletics tonight. Doesn't happen very often and typically doesn't end very well, but hey, got to take a chance sometimes at some secondary stacks that will be unowned and could get you to the top. Let's jump to the last game of the night where I think a lot of teams do go with on both sides. The Dodgers, the Braves. It's Friday night. The Dodgers always seem to just naturally, whatever happens on Friday, just hit the baseball around, score a bunch of runs. They're facing Charlie Morton, who's a solid real-life pitcher here. I like these Braves quite a bit. They're my favorite spend-up offense on the slate, guaranteed ninth inning at bats here in LA. Talk to me with this heavy matchup to end the slate.
Yeah, should be a good real life baseball game, and then I don't think it's gonna be very fruitful in the DFS streets. Let's start on the Dodgers side. I mean, Charlie Morton's a good enough pitcher that not gonna be getting any to these Dodgers. I mean, obviously Freddie Freeman playing against his former team, but yeah, no thank you on the Dodgers for me. Then yeah, obviously the interest for me and everybody else is going to come to the Braves facing Gavin Stone. The Braves would be where I'd go, but man, they've just been so bad. Offensively, can they get off the schneid tonight against a guy named Gavin Stone? We shall see. Yeah, favorite spend-up stack for me is the Braves as well, but no Dodgers for me. Interested here if you're on the Dodgers at all.
Yeah, I will. I'll touch on the Dodgers here. I want to address Sean V in the chat saying not great hitter weather. I mean, there's not really great hitting weather across this slate right now. I mean, we're still in the beginning part of the season, right? We're not in the heat of summer where a lot of these games are 90, 100 degrees. The wind is blowing out in LA. It's about 60 degrees, so it's not the craziest hitter weather overall, but we don't have really one spot on this slate that everyone's flocking to in terms of offenses outside of this game. So that's one reason you could be under on it. I do like these Braves quite a bit, starting with the lefties, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Harris, Kelenic, if he's in there. Marcell Ozuna been absolutely locked in at the plate. He is up to $6K, which is very expensive to be paying $6,000 for Marcell Ozuna, but he's definitely earned that price tag. Obviously, Ronald Acuna, 1 through 9, same thing, different day, ending in Y for the Braves. I like them a lot. My favorite spend-up offense. And then on the Dodgers, I actually do have some interest in the lefties, the Otanis, the Freemans. I think Otani's an elite one-off. You do have to pay for him quite a bit, but I think some of these Dodgers can get to Charlie Morton here a little bit, just looking into some of Morton's numbers over the last 30 days. Strikeout rate just around 22% against lefties. Don't want to stack up the Dodgers just at their price points, but in terms of one-offs, Otani, Freddie Freeman top that list. Max Muncy's been solid. Don't hate him. Andy Pages, if you need a punt, he's been good. Ton of strikeouts do come with him, but hit a home run last night, I think, or the night before, and he's just 3,600. So for me, the interest in this game is on the Brave side. I do think that's the chalkier route, but I do think chalk overall in terms of this slate does spread. So I'm just going in on the offenses alike and just looking for low-owned pieces to get different. So Braves for me, some Dodgers one-offs in Freeman and Otani is kind of how I'm looking at that game. That's all 9 games. We talked pitching. We broke down every game in terms of stacks. I do think this is one of the slates where some of these offenses that we didn't have a lot of interest in, you wouldn't be surprised to break the slate here because, again, I'm going back to it. It's not a Coors Field slate. It's not a Dodgers against a bad pitcher or a Braves against a bad pitcher, Astros against a bad pitcher where everyone's kind of flocking to. So that's why I have a little bit more interest in the Kansas Cities, the Clevelands, the Red Sox, in spots where typically I wouldn't like those offenses too much. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this slate. Any closing remarks for the people before we get home run calls here tonight?
Should be a good slate. I like those low 8K pitchers tonight to come home and be on the winner. And finding the right offenses should be a fun one, though.
All right. Well, I'm going to kick it over to you with the home run call tonight. Who's hitting a bomb here for you tonight?
Oh, this is an easy one. Batting second for those Boston Red Sox in the Twin Cities. He may hit one to Target himself. Target headquarters. Watch out. Rafael Devers is hitting a ball to your headquarters if they're close to the stadium.
All right. Well, I'm going to my favorite stack of the night. I'm going to the cleanup spot, Salvador Perez, 4,900. I like him to take Lorenzen deep there in Kauffman Stadium, play him at catcher or first base. Want to get a little bit different, play Furman at catcher, play Salvi Perez at first base, because I do think a lot of the optimizer teams are going to have Vinny P at first base, Perez at the catcher position. This one way to get a little bit unique in terms of roster construction. Give me Salvador Perez here tonight. That's going to do it for this Friday Witching Hour show here, brought to you by SHIPIT Nation. Again, if you haven't and you're just tuning in, you're looking for an optimizer, well, use that promo code Millie15. Get you access to all of our content. You get an app optimizer for the time being for free for being a member at SHIPIT Nation. Test it out. Give us feedback that when the optimizer does release, you should be able to get everything, all access to our site, including the optimizer for under $100 a month. Absolutely unheard of in this industry right now. Some other sites around the industry are paying roughly $600 a year for every different sport. And we're going to likely have everything locked in for under $100 a month for an optimizer and access to premium projections, tools, content, everything else that has success for DFS. But good luck tonight in your contest. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. For myself, Nadesify, and Hamwich, we'll catch you guys next time.